And so it goes through for a rushed score and the first one of the match.
And it was a fairly decent run into the forward line there by Brad Scholl. And Robert Powell, once again, he's just not concentrating on the footy.
That was a terrible kick by Scholl.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he broke clear, and it should have been a goal from there. And Young Brockman just had a little fumble. Scott Turner brings it out to Broderick.
Well, there's two players in this in the middle of the ground for the Tigers that do determine whether they win or lose, in my view. Broderick and, of course, the skipper, Knights.
Here's Harrison. Oh, that's a beautifully directed kick. Could have almost a free kick to Charles there. Taken away by Sanderson. I thought he was manhandled in that contest. Down towards half forward. This is Mensch. A very big game for Geelong. If they lose, they're in deep trouble. Big thump away was by Callaway. Over the line deep in that forward pocket.
He's taken the place of his brother rather well down there, hasn't he, in defence. Duncan, of course, sidelined with knee reconstruction. He'll be welcomed back next year, but Andrew has made every post a winner since he was included. John Barnes. Well, he was almost going to be on the surgeon's table during the week. He's out there playing. Maybe a week-by-week proposition. Our umpires today, Hanley, Dorr and Love. Big leap by Gale. She's going to be a scramble. Kilpatrick, quick kick out of the congestion. Only as far as Rogers, who marks in the left back pocket. We're in Royce Hart's old number. Turner decides to go long, looks for Bullis out there on centre wing. Ball needs to sit for him. It does. Gets a favourable bounce, so maybe the ground a little bit better than we thought. King, a chance at left half back to mop up. Plenty of weight being used in the pack so far in this match. That'll be a ball up. About 55 metres out from goal. Hamish Simpson seems to have come off the worst for wear in that exchange. Getting up limping. Daffy, 55 metres out. Awkward looking kick off the boot, but it's a goal. First blood to the Tigers.
And first possession to Justin Charles. A great little handball after a tap. And he got the ball to Nick Daffy, who unbelievably threaded that one through. Didn't drop it all that well, but he got the accuracy, as he often always does, Peter.
Yes, he's an amazing player. Just one of those goal sneaks, isn't he, Gerard? And right or left foot, he's got that burst and he knows where the goals are.
He's got away from Sean Simpson there to get off to a good start for not just himself, but also the club. And Justin Charles will be a very relieved man to get that first touch. 5
points the margin in favour of the Tigers. And Charles, a very enthusiastic player. I agree with you, Gerard. He'd be wrapped. First touch, resulting in a handball and a goal. So ruck contest, very important. Centre bounce, very, very important. Well done by Knights. Broderick grabbed it, he didn't have it. Oh, goodness me. Didn't get the free kick. Hocking kicks it wide, and he finds Bizzle. Bizzle has got a loose man at half forward. It's Riccardi. He loves to play on from just inside 50. He kicks long. Mensch fights with his teammate for that mark, and it's a behind. Couldn't believe that Broderick didn't get a free kick in the middle then.
Yeah, he's not only just scragged, but scragged high. But looks like a match-up between Peter Riccardi and Matthew Knights. So you would expect that Riccardi will try to match him up and then work forward. But as we know, if Knights gets the footy in his hands, very dangerous.
Scotty Turner brings it to the member stand side. Benny Gale, the target in the middle of the pack. No mark paid. Sanderson kicks it back into the goal square. And Turner decides to rush it through for another rush behind to Geelong. So they're 3 points on the board, all of them rush behinds early in the first quarter.
They've had a couple of opportunities, Geelong. They just haven't been able to work a crummer onto the loose ball. And one thing they have missed all year is someone to take a big mark down in that forward line. Brett Spinks has done it intermittently, but certainly not enough.
Turner goes long and wide. Bullis was the target. Mansfield in front. Gasper's there. Kilpatrick. Clean possession. Spears it down to Spinks, who marks just on the boundary line at left half forward in front of Rogers.
And Peter, he often gets marks out on that 50.
Yes, a long way out. And he's on the boundary line. Having said that, he is a
Big
tremendous kicker goal, a big kicker goal. But this, he must fancy himself, Gerard, is making the distance, because as soon as he marked, he turned his back on goal and went back and said, I'm going to kick this.
29 goals, 16 against his name for the year. Pretty well right on 50 and close to the boundary line. Spinks for Geelong's first, judging by Richmond supporters in the crowd. He's missed, so 4 behinds to open the Cats scoring here at the MCG. They trailed by 2 points.
Well, I actually think, Gerard, that he did the wrong thing then, not turning around quickly in case there was a short option, because he was a long, long way out on an acute angle. He's a side-on shot as Scott Turner brings it down the centre corridor.
That's twice they've picked out that very hole on their kicking, so Geelong have just got to tighten up in that area.
So Ashley Prescott to centre wing. Over the back is Evans. Couldn't quite hang on to it. Kilpatrick was there. And was that high? No, said the umpire. Will be a bounce here on centre wing. Sanderson on the bottom of the pack, and he was clipped across the ear, I think.
The umpire was on the other side of that, and pretty hard to pick up.
So right on the centre wing here at the MCG. He doesn't even attempt to bounce it, so it must be a little bit slippery out there.
Well,
it's shot, almost threw that away. Taken by Knights. Hooks it back cleverly to the half-forward area. There's about 5 players went for that. Hocking to Mansfield. This is Clinton Bizzle. Beautiful kick on the left foot. McGrath, Richardson with pace was good. McGrath is going to lose it. Richardson back towards the centre half-forward area. Here's Riccardi, mopped up pretty well and belted it back towards centre wing where there's a race. Rogers, Bizzle did well. Snell was in there after it. A little bit of fumbling. Bizzle again, some enormous tackling out here. A lot of pressure, and the ball will be locked out here on centre wing.
There's Jason Tawney on the bottom of the pack with Jason Snell. The 2 Jasons right on centre wing. Well, the umpire threw the ball up on this side. Let's see if they do the same over there. He's going to bounce it, it looks like. So the outer side not quite as damp as the members stand flanks. Riccardi might have been taken high. The umpire goes down in the meantime. Good tackle by Sanderson on his opposite number 27, Funky. Knights off the ground. A chance for the Tigers to set something up again. Powell's kick down towards half-forward. Evans in front, good mark.
Well, he did that very well, Brett Evans. He just snuck into that front position at the important time, and Michael Mansfield, one of the class defenders in the competition, was just floating back, and he allowed his man to take the front spot. So a very big opportunity now for Brett Stevens.
Now, Benny Gale, just interrupting Gerard, has come over to one of the trainers.
Dislocated finger, I reckon.
Oh, they hurt. None of them like that.
So Evans, 12 goals this year, played in 2 premiership sides with Springvale in the VFL. He has missed to the far side and registers only 1 behind.
Yeah, snapping the old fingers back in is not a pleasant experience, whether you're on the end of it and it's your finger or doing it as part of the job. But he's a terrible noise when it just snaps back in.
Gerard, that's enough, thank you. Sanderson kicks into the outer side. He finds Mansfield in the back pocket.
And Michael Mansfield getting the hoots of the Tigers supporters, who would be the majority of the crowd, I would think. Not a huge crowd here, but the MCG car park is closed today. There's Barnes flying. Didn't actually go for it in the end. Hocking, very important.
Pushing it back to the Buddha.
And a free kick to the Buddha.
Yeah, he got body slammed there a little bit by Ashley Prescott, who's matching him up today.
Yeah, that's why he's a champion. The way he got on quickly and looked up and saw King on his own. That was good play by Hocking. Now, that's a good mark under pressure by Mitch. Now he gives it off to Snell. Good kick in towards half forward, and Milburn is marked about 40 metres from goal directly in front. And this is a guy that I thought, Gerard, 12 months ago had enormous potential and probably still has, but just had a soft spell there for a while.
Well, he trailed off a little bit, but you're right, Peter. A player with immense talent. And just looking at the Geelong side, they've gone with plenty of runners today, and they're going to be tough to beat here at the G.
So Darren Milburn, they really need this one. Early in the game, he's kicked the goal.
So Geelong in front. 1-4 to 1-1.
A good conversion, wasn't it? But once again, set up by Gaddy Hocking. And Mensch also has had a good year. David Mensch taking a pretty good mark. And you need all those sorts of aspects running for you if you are to win a game of footy. You need midfielders winning the ball, but you need blokes to get on the end of it and take a mark in the forward line. Otherwise, it just goes back over your head very quickly and into your attacking, into your defensive areas.
12 minutes left in the first quarter. Geelong in front by 3 points. Milburn getting the Cats' first goal. Rain has stopped at the MCG, but heavy underfoot. Kilpatrick onto Sanderson, just inside the square. That was funky. Came at him pretty solidly and stopped what could have been a near certain goal. So ball up. That's at a half forward for Geelong. Gale, that finger seems to be okay. Gets it away from John Barnes. Ball flipped out by Kellaway to Knights. The skipper, not much on offer. Goes for the boundary line. That was his nearest friend. Sanderson, good tackle by Knight. Sanderson and the footy over the line. It will be a throw-in close to centre wing member stand side. Sanderson covering plenty of territory. Barnes up high. Thumps it some 20 metres further downfield. A little bit too wide for Milburn. It's out of bounds in front of he and also Kellaway. So in front of the now inappropriately named smoker stand with 70% of the MCG now non-smoking. Gale to the front. Plenty of options there. Prescott and/or Knights. It's the latter. Knights' kick onto Powell at midfield. Usually constructive with his kicking. It's gone long on this occasion. Looking for Charles or Daffy. Charles to the front. Combined with Daffy for their first goal. Boundary line is too close for the Duck. It's out of bounds right on 50.
Smart bit of play by Matthew Knights. Getting Robert Powell in some space. And Powell ignored the Richardson lead to come back and look for Charles.
Half forward for the Tigers. King doing the ruck work, a quick kick around the corner is by Powell. This is good play by Broderick to centre it. Well read by Tim McGrath. Now Geelong have got the loose man. It's Barnes latching onto it. Had no one really to give it to, but a long hand pass finds Spinks a long way from goal. This is Colbert. Oh, some good shepherding allows Colbert to drive it wide, and the mark has been taken by Snell. Now they've got a real chance here, the Cats. Riccardi's got it, and look at this, that's good play to play on. He'll try and centre this for sure. Mensch can't get back. Young Brockman in after it. Knights and Bullis. Bullis dives on it. Oh, almost threw that out. Taken by Brendan Gale. Oh, he's kicked it straight to Riccardi. So Peter Riccardi will have a kick for goal from 30 metres on a pretty tight angle.
Some pretty good signs here for Geelong. They are harassing. They've got plenty of runners. Lee Colbert just got his first kick, so there's another player of immense talent that can increase his work rate. And the pressure, I think, that they're putting on the defence of Richmond is going to reap some rewards.
Yes, I think it's very important for Geelong's sake to get a little break early, give them a bit of confidence. It's a huge game for them as Riccardi, well, he's drifted it to the left and missed. So this is, well, 3 of their behinds have been rushed, but they've had a lot of the play down forward, Jared.
They have, and well, Pete Riccardi could have kicked a couple of goals in the last minute or so. And if you do that, all of a sudden, you've got the pressure back on Matthew Knights, and he has to become a little bit more defensive. So it's a double-edged sword if you convert goals.
Scotty Turner. Low trajectory kick needs to be good. It is. Mark taken for Richmond down there by Funky. The Tigers run it directly down the ground. Charles again the target. Punched away by Hamish Simpson. Campbell. A little give. Daffy. Well, he was going at breakneck speed there. The ball kept in play, so still a chance for Richardson. Loses out. Bizzle's hand pass. Could have done better. Hamish Simpson now.
Yeah, it's around the neck. I think
he's got it. It's going to be a Geelong kick.
Just took one a little bit high.
Sanderson. Kicked off the ground past Powell, who applies a tackle. Prescott and Evans are there. Prescott finally with the footy. Could have almost been taken high. A ball up inside 50, right half forward for Richmond. Still just with the one goal on the board. Kicked by Daffy. Geelong have had plenty of the ball on their forward line. Just the 2 goals scored so far. Big leap by Charles after his 16-match suspension, and as far as Clinton Bizzle, the Queenslander. In Queensland weather today, the ball beats Gale out of bounds. Just the one Gale on the ground today. Michael Gale omitted from the Tigers side, and Brendan seems to be okay after having that dislocated digit put back into place.
Yes, there's been some good signs for the Cats so far. I agree with Jared. They're chasing and harassing. They've just got to be able to kick goals. That's their big problem. Here's Knights, who's been very good early. Jacket comes in the direction of Harrison. Finally, it comes out towards Tawney as he tried to crash his way through. Here's Knights. Knights in towards half forward. Oh, it's a poor kick. And the Cats will take it away, this time through Hamish Simpson. Sanderson couldn't pick it up. Still the Cats going after it. Hocking. He shuffled it out wide. It's all Richmond though, as Brendan Gale will pick it up. Here's Campbell. Smothered off the boot. Oh. This is Bizzle, and it was too high. He lifted the elbow a little bit, and the kick will go to Ashley Prescott.
Prescott on centre wing. Got a man on downfield. Kick comes in to Charles in the goal square. He got that.
And he's just letting a couple of the boys that had a few words to say before the game started know that he is the one with the footy in his hands. I think just about every one of the Geelong back and welcomed him back.
Did they ever? I'd love to have heard what they said too, Jared.
Oh, it was all just pleasantries, I think, folks.
Charles from point blank range for his first of the season. He's got it.
Yes, one just wonders what impact that Justin Charles could have on not just Richmond, but the entire competition for the remainder of the season. Obviously, he was out in very controversial circumstances. And, well, I guess the spectre of having a player of this calibre.
Well, Broderick's kick was just fantastic. It was pinpoint. He knew what he was doing, didn't he?
He did. But having this bloke coming back into the side with 6 weeks to go before the finals was always going to be an absolute bonus.
So the Tigers by 2 points as Brendan Gale won that one. It's a free kick back in the centre. It'll go the way of Richmond. You can hear by the roar. It's their kick. It'll go to Nick Daffy, who looks superbly fit. Daffy, a kick in towards half forward, and well done to Stephen King to get back and help his defenders. And he's taken a very nice mark. Now he can kick it wide. It's a dangerous kick, but the Richmond player Powell slipped over.
He was on it, wasn't he?
Yes, certainly was. Colbert to Scholl. Oh, an ordinary kick by Scholl. And at times his kicking can be just a little bit indifferent. He's not happy with himself, as you can see, because that pass was far too high. Centre wing. Again, it's Brendan Gale and Barnes. They both nullified each other then, but Barnes did well. He's surrounded by 2 Richmond players. Scholl tries to get in a hand pass. This is Riley, and it's a free kick to the Cats going to James Riley. He's on centre wing.
Riley named on the bench for Geelong, one of their up-and-comers. Boy from South Warrnambool. In front was Gale. Got a little bit of a nudge in the back. Knights, Harrison, Bizzle's got him. Has to get rid of it quickly. Chance for Kilpatrick. Umpires found the free kick going Geelong's way. The advantage rule paid. Riccardi says go. He goes long. It might be a goal. It is a goal. Great kick. Catch back in front.
Magnificent conversion there by Glenn Kilpatrick. I think though the Cats are a bit lucky to have the ball running forward, because there was a tackle here applied on Ben Harrison, and I would doubt whether he had what you'd call a prior opportunity. Paul.
I'm with you 100% there, Jared. I thought that was very red hot. Four points the margin. A good contest here at the MCG. This time it's King and Brendan Gale. Or it's Thupp further afield towards Campbell. There's Steinford trying to pick it up and sock it off the ground. Down in front of Richardson. Richardson against McGrath. Good play by McGrath to lock it in. And the umpire will come in and bounce. But gee, it's a big Richmond contingent of support. The noise is incredible.
Well, it's an interesting one. He dives forward, the ball's underneath him, and probably a ball up was a good decision.
I think Matthew would have been maybe better served by just tapping the ball forward to Daffy.
He's got to do it all again, is he? No. Campbell's kick out of bounds on the full from Wayne Campbell. So free kick to Geelong in the left back pocket. And that will be taken by Riley, it looks like. South Warrnambool, so he'd be from the same territory as Nick Daffy. Came from down that way. Before him, Barnes. Well, he wasn't quite sure where he was going to go there. Finally sees Riccardi on his own on the wing in front of Knights, who marks. Under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Riccardi getting plenty of advice from the large contingent of Richmond supporters in the outer. Mansfield off the front of the pack, rows it well. Snell in front. Punch away by Tawney. Follows up his good work. Hand pass back to Harrison. Broderick on his favoured left foot, kicks to a contest on centre wing. Simpson punches the ball further forward. Steinford. Hand pass leaves a lot to be desired, but it comes off at the end. That's okay. Scholl down towards Spinks, again taking the mark a long way from goal. He's about 85 metres from the scoring area. Kick drops a little bit short. Steinford a chance, but he's outnumbered by plenty of Richmond players. Callaway taken high, and he'll get a free kick even though he was out of bounds. So Andrew Callaway, left half back, over the head of Snell, onto Broderick.
Paul Broderick didn't really have anyone to give that to, so he just headed out wide to the boundary line. So it'll be interesting to see if Geelong can maintain this pressure. They're doing pretty well so far. Richmond would be favourites.
The Cats have got a loose man just lurking in the centre of the ground. It's Paul Broderick's man. He's electing to play the distance.
So Stephen King did well there. Milburn tapped it to the line. That'll be a good contest. Darren Milburn and Andrew Callaway. Half forward for the Cats in front of the Melbourne Members Pavilion. A huge game for both clubs, particularly for Geelong. It's do or die for them. Colbert in front. Oh, that was he. I thought he played for that. I think Gale was stiff. I reckon he accentuated that and ducked forward. Colbert. So Colbert brings it in towards half forward. They need someone to take a mark. They have the tall players down there. That was Tawney giving it to Daffy. Nick Daffy, geez, playing with confidence. He kicks to a contest. Riccardi pushed out of it. It should have been a Geelong free, I would think. No, there'll be a bounce way out here at half forward for the Cats. I think Bizzle, it was shoved out of the... No, it wasn't. It was Sanderson was shoved out. No, pretty fair enough when you look at that.
Yeah, it certainly hit him on the arms.
Hocking kicked it straight into the back of Rogers. Bizzle, Rogers applies a tackle on him. Now Kilpatrick. Knights' tackle ineffective. Still Kilpatrick. That might bring some more rain. It's really high. Oh, Snell nearly. She's pretty tough in the clinches. Gaspar didn't come out with it, but his teammate Benny Gale did. Gale's kick, not bad under the conditions. Up towards midfield. Hacked out of it by Harrison to half forward. Charles doesn't get the bounce that he wants. Simpson wearing him pretty closely. Nearly had his head taken off Charles. Evans pressured by Riley. No one to give the hand pass to. Finally handballs it to the front. Kilpatrick runs. Good tackle by Funky. Now the Cats have got a chance to set something up. Long bomb by Bizzle. Bizzle's kick. Oh, it is long. Great kick. It sails through for a goal.
It looked like a free kick to Charles back there, Gerard, at half forward.
Not for kicking in danger.
No, I thought he was grabbed out and they just dragged back from the contest.
And the Tigers had a lot of players running forward, expecting that he was going to get the possession, and then the unlikely turnover came and they were all free, and that was a great kick, wasn't it?
It's a superb kick.
He's not a bad player. Bizzle is an exciting player. So the Cats doing well. 10 points the margin. King's doing well in the centre bounces. Milburn against Callaway. Or he's nearly unloaded. Taken by Gaspar. He gets into trouble. Geelong are tackling ferociously. Milburn did well. Snell. Gary Hocking. This is danger for Richmond. Riccardi brings it in long. Oh, that deserved a goal. He's hit the post. But they are going in very hard. The Cats are backing each other up.
And a pretty good battle in the middle of the ground. Riccardi's had 8 possessions. Knights has had 9. But Riccardi's had, well, 4 shots or 3 shots at goal in the last 5 minutes. Hasn't been able to get one yet.
11 points to the margin. That looked like a mini frown on the brow of Jeff Geeshan. Knights kicks in. Gaspar couldn't complete the mark. Daffy, there is a whistle. Richmond free kick, and Prescott may be the recipient. Yes, he is. Ashley Prescott, one of those rare players these days who had a long apprenticeship in the reserves. I think played over 70 games in the Magoos for Richmond. Harrison, left half back, fairly open. But again, kicking to a contest, but Campbell, using his great pace to get clear of Rami, takes the mark. Clock ticking down, under a minute to quarter time. The Tigers would love a goal. Reid need a goal. That was touched off the boot. Charles hits to the front of the pack. Geelong with the runners. Prescott's there again. It's flipped out the power right on 50. Nowhere to go. Runs into a brick wall. Almost an illegal hand pass. Hocking intercepting as Campbell. Still the clock ticks down. They need a mark in front of goal. Big Charles nearly got a little bit of a nudge out. Bullis down on the forward line now. Chance for Sanderson to clear. A quick kick out of the congestion to the outer side. Might have been out in the full. And no, it wasn't. And the umpire says throw it in.
Just bounced a centimetre, and Barnes is giving his teammate Sanderson a bit of a burst then for not kicking it to him, but I don't think Sanderson saw him because he kicked pretty quickly. Justin Charles and David Minch. Just a bit of pushing and shoving. Kilpatrick did well. Out it comes towards the half-back area. And I think it was Simpson who kicked it. And over the line is the siren about to go for quarter time in a very good quarter, particularly by Geelong. I think they've looked the better side. They've been running in numbers and tackling hard, and they're pretty fired up. There's the siren to end the first term, Gerard, and I'd say Geelong had the honours for sure.
Yeah, not only on the scoreboard, but just around the ground, Pete. They've got more runners, more commitment to the loose ball, and they're going to be tough to stop now because their confidence is up and they will be believing in themselves. So the job ahead of the Tigers here at quarter time.
Milburn, Kilpatrick and Bizzle, the goal kickers for Geelong. Richmond's have been kicked by Nick Daffy and Justin Charles. The margin is 11 points at the first change.
Norman software and accessory sale has been extended. $10 million worth of stock must go. Prices slashed by up to a massive 80%. Selected games, utilities, educational and business software, console games and accessories, computer books and much more. There's something for everyone and it's drastically reduced. Software from only $1. That's right, $1. You can't afford to miss it. The annual software and accessory sale. Limited stock, limited time only from your computer and communication specialist. Harvey Norman, be there.
Coming up next week on Sports Australia and Sports Australia 2. Cricket. Live Mercantile Mutual Cup action with the Bulls hosting the Redbacks. Then heading south for a shootout with the Bushrangers. Soccer. The superstars of Australian soccer in the Ericsson Cup. Tennis. The business end of the Australian Open. Who'll take out 99's first Grand Slam event. That's next week on Sports Australia and Sports Australia 2.
On the Emerald Isle, two sports are savoured with more relish than a pint of Guinness. Hurling and Gaelic football. They're more than just games, they become outright wars. Clash Gaelic Games, Wednesday night, 6:30 on Sports Australia. Paris Saint-Germain, Lens, Monaco, Marseille. Names that inspire. Names that fire passion and pride in fans around the world. From the Football League that produced the superstars that won France fame and glory on the international stage at the World Cup comes the flair and flamboyance of French soccer. Saturday night, 7:30 on Sports Australia, Channel 12.
Tracy Holmes, face-to-face.
How would you describe yourself?
With the superstars of sport.
It's still one of my best things. I can get a queen-size mattress in one arm and ring the doorbell on the other. And I say, hello.
The Tracy Holmes Show, Monday nights at 9 on Sports Australia.
Second quarter of the MCG. The Cats seemingly on a roll. They've had some good wins here at the G this year over Essendon, North Melbourne, Carlton and Melbourne. Well, can they keep it up against the Tigers? They weren't fancied by too many here today. Kick forward by Funky. Knights may go off the ground. He's beaten to it. Comes back, in fact, over the centre. Bizzle, one of the Cats' goal kickers in the first quarter. Harrison now, good tackle by Barnes. Kick up and under towards the centre circle. Thump further forward by Benny Gale. Mansfield in the road again. The centre half forward. Oh, good mark. Taken down there and he hits the ground running. That's Jason Tawney. Tawney to half forward. 2-on-2 clash. Beautifully done. Evans running into an open goal. Taking the tap from Richardson and puts it through. Just what the Geesh would have ordered during his quarter-time address, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a pretty smart piece of play all round, with Jason Tawney in particular coming across the half-back line. Then he went bang with a long kick into the forward line. Matthew Knights looked as if he was going to be in the hospital ward, but he just backed out of that one, which was pretty smart work and faced the oncoming traffic. And then a smart kick, smart tap, I should say, from Richardson.
Riccardi.
Well, this is a very bad blow to the Cats because Riccardi's at least been equaling Matthew Knights in his possessions.
So centre of the ground, Hocking. So they've got Colbert on the bench and now Riccardi. They're two huge losses if they stay off. O'Reilly brings it in towards full forward. So Colbert's back on, is he? Yep. Harrison bends it back out wide. Prescott. Ashley Prescott from half-back. It's a wobbly kick. And it lands straight in the hands of Brenton Sanderson on centre wing. Now he wants to play on here. As he looks out to the right and he sees Brad Scholl.
There's a costly kicks like that one from Ashley Prescott where he was under really no pressure and he had to do better than that.
Well, the ball floats over the back. Bullis is there. And also Harrison. Harrison brings it out wide and he read that well, Scholl. He's a very good player.
Pete, the conditions just seem to be suiting the Cats a little bit more. They've got more ground level players getting more of the footy.
Knock on by Barnes, picked up by Callaway onto Harrison. Harrison from half back. Standing start kick. The mark is there. Great grab. It's Evans, is it? Yes.
She was a good mark.
It was, well,
Beauty, wasn't it?
almost like Darren Jarman's on Friday night that wasn't allowed when he was going with the flight of the ball. That was an interesting decision, but no doubt about this grab. Evans.
Interesting. They had a royal inquest into it over in Adelaide today.
Broderick. Rogers. Kicks it into the goal square. Richardson at the back. Outmarked by Bizzle. Himself a goal kicker in the first quarter. Hocking. But his 200th game last year against Richmond. A game in which the Cats won. Mansfield onto Mensch. Short of left centre wing. So the Cats will be hoping that that's a good omen with Lee Colbert playing his 100th game against the Tigers today. King. Steinford. Steinford at centre field. His brother on the Richmond list. King's moved downfield to take the hand pass. Kilpatrick. Gee, the pace of Geelong worrying Richmond at the moment. Turner will go the big punch from the back. Bullis under pressure. Gaspar. Harrison. Gee, they nearly caught Hargraves. That was a good tackle. Snap-it goal for Geelong by Darren Milburn is out of bounds or behind. Away to the Golden Pirates. 1 point. Gee, might have been a bit generous there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a line ball decision, but Geelong are using plenty of possessions to get the ball forward, but they're getting away with it because the pressure of the Tigers probably just not up to the standard that Jeff Geesham would like at the moment.
Scotty Turner has found Campbell here in the back pocket.
Bowden onto the ground play.
And Riccardi is running around the boundary line. It looks like an ankle type injury, I would think. It's flicked over the back. It's a free kick in that marking contest. There's King and there's Peter Riccardi, and that doesn't look good. But the Cats is really struggling. The ball at half back as the Tigers go to centre wing. Charles in front. Punched away, but that was Hamish Simpson punching it from the half back line. Here's Hocking. Oh, free kick. Oh, look out. He's a fiery little customer, Hocking. On the shoal. He's an important player for the Cats. Barnes, 2 bites. He's got it. Here's Bizzle. He goes inside. He probably should have kicked it. Oh, goodness me. Snell was there. Socked it off the ground by Kilpatrick. Oh, Hargraves should have picked it up. Bullis. Further afield. Campbell. Now Broderick. And Geelong are mucking around with it and allowing the Tigers to get back into it. Good effort there. Hamish Simpson on Charles and is forced over the line.
I suppose you could go back to Clinton Bizzle. He kicked a great long goal in the first quarter. Why he didn't have a shot? Because he was on 50, and when he kicked the one in the first term, he was about 60 metres out.
He sold the dummy too well. His Geelong teammate, who he handballed it to eventually, didn't know was coming.
Scholl's kick just outside the square. Mensch off the ground. Now Bullis from Rogers. Callaway. Oh, Prescott, gee, nearly sold him into trouble. He was gang tackled as he kicked. Evans, the big flyer from the back. King has to try to get back there quickly. McGrath though mops up. He'll give it to Scholl, in turn to Mansfield. Mansfield at halfback, well shepherded. A little chip shot up to Bizzle. Not Bizzle, it's Milburn.
Once again, a loose ball in the Richmond forward line being picked up by a number of Geelong players.
That was a terrible kick. It put Steinford under all sorts of pressure on the wing, and now it's a turnover. Rogers could make them pay. Daffy, danger zone here for Geelong. Yep. Kicks to 2 tools in the goal square. Guess who's got it? Richardson, 12 metres out.
Just Geelong's skill errors, Jared, and not going long, and it's fiddling around with these 20-metre kicks. It's killing him.
Well, if you play a high possession game, you really are at risk of losing the ball. And there we see the value of the long ball in, and in particular, someone taking a grab near goal.
Richardson frees first. He gets it.
So it's a pretty competitive clash here at the MCG. I think Geelong's been more impressive on the day, and I guess there's 10 scoring shots to 5 would indicate that. But Richmond have been good enough just to get a number of goals on the board to keep them in touch. And I reckon the game's in the balance just about now. If one of the two sides can get a little bit of a break here, they may blow it apart.
The crowd's built up noticeably, Gerard too.
So scores level. King was just too slow to get to that knock. Kick forward by Hocking. Oh, good mark to Mitch. Oh, why would you? What a... Goodness me. Why doesn't he go back and have a kick? Kilpatrick. Colbert. Bending it towards half-forward. Hargraves was knocked back by Spinks. This is Sanderson. Chance for Barnes, it is in front. It's forced over the line. Throw in next to the behind post.
Scores dead level at the MCG. 14 minutes remaining in the half.
Gary Hocking getting plenty of football. His sort of conditions at the moment, in and under, getting lots of loose balls. 10 possessions at this stage.
Gale, Barnes, won by Gale, tried for Rogers, Kellaway. Well, Hargraves made a similar mistake earlier. You'd think they'd learn.
Oh, he's got to pick it up, Hargraves.
So Tawney.
Got no one to kick it to at all.
Not a soul. Well, you can almost predict that. Bizzle, was he off? Umpire says no, he wasn't off.
He's an impressive player.
Scholl didn't let him down when he ran into goal in the first quarter. That's a little bit better. Barnes, the big leap from behind. Couldn't complete the mark. That's too high. That'll be a free kick. Tawney again. Oh, Turner. Dear, oh dear. Well, put it down to pressure.
How many rush? That'd be about 4 or 5 rush behinds, wouldn't it?
To Geelong, 4 now.
4.
And the handball was absolutely unnecessary. He's a very good kick, Jason Tawney. And getting it out blindly to your full back gives you nothing.
Benny Gale marks inside the square. Trying to get rid of Steinfort now. He'll be appealing for 50 metres, but there is none. There's nobody standing on the mark either. He kicks it long to half forward.
Oh, it could almost have been down the field. Then umpire didn't think so. There's Mansfield. Is that holding the ball? Umpire said no. So it'll be a bounce. Justin Charles looks on him incredulously. And Mansfield, that'll be a good contest. Mansfield and Evans, they're both goers. Look at that. Look at the close checking of Mansfield. Well, Hargraves had to come. He's off the ground, and, well, you've got to pick the ball up and run with the thing. It can't just be airy-fairy kicking in mid-air and fancy Dan stuff.
And Robbie Powell has come off the ground, and Mark Chaffee gets his first run.
Ottens won't be far behind him, it looks like.
So King against Charles. Sanderson did well, and he'll finally get a kick. He did that very, very well. Knights. Colbert, good play by Colbert, put on enormous pressure, smothered off Prescott. Onto the ground is Funky, down towards half was Chaffee it was, not Funky, who kicked it quickly, and there's a free kick. Will go to Hamish Simpson at half back.
Now to King. King just up from the back pocket. Still only a youngster. Kicks over the head of Charles. McGrath. Richardson might have been smothered or touched off the boot, but the umpires paid the mark to Hocking, taking it in front of Ashley Prescott. Buddha's kick to McGrath.
And it's fair to say that whilst Buddha's getting plenty of touches, so too is Ashley Prescott. He's also had a dozen or so touches.
Milburn in front. Couldn't complete it. Evans slung to the ground by Milburn. Tapped out to Gale. A quick kick, hardly the required distance. The umpire did pay the mark. Rogers plays on anyway. Pace to burn from Daffy. Daffy's kick long into the goal square. Geelong with the numbers down there. King, what's he going to do? Give it to McGrath. That was the logical play. Back to Scholl in defence. Bowden on the ground chasing. He started on the bench. Colbert playing his 100th takes the mark at half back.
It's a good match up there for Geelong there. Colbert with height against Knights, Gerard.
Yep. And no real difference in pace, I wouldn't have thought so.
Lee Colbert, who, as a youngster, a kid, barracked for Richmond, now against them playing his 100th game. Kellaway has to, well, he's not going to borrow one of your phrases, Pete, duck back. But it's a Geelong ball. Riccardi. Is it Barnes? It is. Seems to be moving okay, Riccardi. Low trajectory kick, and he puts it through for a goal. Well played.
Well, the free kick downfield was actually paid.
A little bit of stuff happening off the ball too.
Well, it was a late bump by Evans onto Riccardi, and no point going on with it from Mansfield's perspective. But really, it all was resulting from a drop mark out on half-back. I think it was by
Callaway. And he has got plenty to say. Mansfield, he's fired up. There's the kick by Riccardi. Barnes did well here, Gerard.
And you'll see the late tackle here. We had to be quick to see it, but it was there.
Well, good news for Geelong to have Riccardi back on. King doing some good work. Hocking's been terrific. Steinford. Oh, there's some good signs here for the Cats. Raleigh. Riccardi again. Sanderson brings it in towards half forward. No mark. It was Tawney to Rogers. A quick kick to the centre of the ground, and King is, good play. He marks. He goes for a hand pass. Probably should have kicked it, but at least he's got Raleigh clear. Just inside 50. James Raleigh. Barnes can't mark. Still Barnes going in after it. Strong tackle. That was a good tackle by Tawney, by Bizzle. Tawney tried to stage for a free kick for round the neck, but it was a great tackle.
Nowhere near the neck.
It was a good effort by Darren Gasper also to close down on Johnny Barnes.
He was caught behind a couple of metres, wasn't he, Gerard? Gale punches to the front, finds his teammate in Jason Tawney. Campbell did well in what was a pretty tight situation. Plays on. Ottens on the ground, gets his first touch of the leather. Not a pigskin, as he's often referred to.
He's going to be a very good player one day, this kid.
Taken high up in the draft. King, Evans. McGrath's got him. Dumps him. Like a bag of spuds.
It looks like it's Justin Charles that's been taken off the ground for Ottens.
Well, not really surprising when you haven't played for 16 weeks.
Yeah. And he was looking like he was looking for a petrol ticket or two at the time.
Scholl, he's looking for a teammate. Doesn't find one. He's got Broderick.
And that's the sort of pressure that Richmond have got to start putting on the Geelong defenders. If they can force them into kicking errors, they'll come up with unforced errors and forced errors and create some shots at goal.
Well, Broderick looking for an option. He finds Bullis a little bit further out from goal. Minch being brought back on the mark. Prescott has to go. Terrible option. And the mark taken by Scholl. Well, they just tried to over-finesse Richmond there. Scholl from right half back goes short. Finds Mansfield. Now the Cats can waste it a little bit too, but this kick to King is okay at half back.
Got the loose man here, Sanderson.
Sanderson just on the edge of the centre square. Ottens mans up quickly. Sanderson plays on, kicks to a contest at half forward. Bizzle was the target. Rogers chops it off. Back to Ottens, back to Broderick. That's better. They go long down to Richardson territory. Pushes his opponent straight in the back. The umpire says play on. And Hamish Simpson gets up and wonders, but it goes through from behind.
Well, had an opportunity there, Pete.
They certainly did. The Cats. They're mucking around with it far too much. Sanderson. They're playing pretty well, having said that. McGrath. He brings it to half foot. That was a beautiful kick. And King's having a very, very good game here in the ruck. King to half forward. Minch. Chipping across his Tawney. He's a very impressive player. Here's Knights. Very self-assured Matthew Knights. Prescott. Prescott to half forward. Over the back is Evans. Now Broderick. Bowden won't miss, I wouldn't think, from there. No, he has missed. He's normally dynamite from there. He's not too happy, Geeshan there, Pete.
No, he wasn't too happy at quarter time. He had plenty to say. 4-3 to 4-8. They're getting more of the football, though, than they did in the first quarter. Trailed at the first change by 11 points. Powell maybe getting ready to come back on. Charles likewise. Now, do we have a blood rule here? What's going on?
Pretty smart play here because the doctor's keeping him off the ground. It's Ashley Prescott, I think, until his teammate Ross Funky got back from his warm-up lap.
It's going to elongate the quarter a bit, not as long as the second got it off this oval yesterday, which was marathon proportions with all those goals kicked. Sanderson, who so often does the kicking in for Geelong, goes short, straight down. Oh, Ottens. Gee, terrible option. It was intended for King, I think, Gerard, but it was nowhere near the mark, was it?
You've got to hit targets coming out of defence. One of the toughest kicks in footy. The value of that kick is bewildering.
Benny Gale.
I mean, really, it just gives the opposition side a chance to intercept it.
Keep dropping a little bit short. McGrath. And the ball up.
Well, Joel Bowden is paying the penalty for his inaccuracy. He's coming off the ground. And back comes Robbie Powell. Maybe it's also a fact that I just thought, Peter, that they're a little bit too tall up there, the Tigers.
Campbell not tried to crash through a Berlin wall there.
Tell you what, there's some feeling in this game, Pete.
Well, so much at stake, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Started before the first siren. And they went down to shake hands with Charles. Kick off the ground comes in the direction of Knights. He's going to have to be quick. He's got Powell behind him if he sees him. Went a little bit further to Benny Gale. Back to Powell, back to Gaspar. Richardson at the back. Ball drops a little bit short for him. Chance for Mansfield. Riley gives him good support. Hocking. Milburn. Whoops-a-daisy, Mansfield. Oh, terrible kick. Off the side of the boot. Real up and under job. Scholl. Could have been a hospital case. Harrison's got him. Lets him go. Still Scholl. Well played.
They got into that beautifully, Geelong. Little bit of good fortune as well.
Steinford grabbed. Did he have it? Picked up by Rogers. Centering kick from him. And he finds the skipper, Matty Knights.
Knights playing on Colbert. Colbert being brought back on the mark. The Richmond supporters trying to get a 50-metre penalty for Matty Knights. Out wide is Tawney, has been very impressive.
Since they've got a static forward line, though, Richmond. The midfielders are looking for options up there, and there's no one leading, and there's very little space.
Campbell to Rogers, but again, the tackling is good of Geelong. Broderick, King comes in to lend a hand. Oh, they all miss it. Mansfield. Oh, tap down to Daffy. Daffy kicks in mid-air and has missed, and he's not happy with himself. Probably should have grabbed it, and the Geelong players are really stirring him up. Look at the mouthing off going on. McGrath and Hocking giving him a bit of a barrage. Well, you can see the feeling out there in this game. A lot at stake.
Well, it was an opportunity missed, and that's the bottom line, I would think, as far as Jeff Geeshan is concerned. There was plenty of time there to grab hold of the footy and kick it, but having said that, out on the ground, it's a different story.
Hocking to Mansfield, to Colbert. That's better movement by Geelong. Short this time. Barnes on the end of it, marking in front of Gaspar.
Prescott back on the ground.
Barnes, likewise long. Plenty of Richmond players in front. Good mark to Gale.
Isn't that a courageous mark?
Tremendous.
Had a finger dislocated in the first quarter. Rogers over the top. Bizzle!
He's not playing it.
No, it's play on.
Oh, the umpire said play on. And then he played it. He changed his... Oh, the other umpire was it. Came in and changed it.
Oh, they go.
That was amazing. The umpire 10 metres away said play on. And then this umpire, you can see here, came in from the side and overruled the umpire and called play on.
Geez, it looked like a mark. It didn't look like a mark to me. It looked like the Tiger player had it first.
Well, there were four hands on it.
Well, Bizzle has got the kick. I think he took it out of the hands of the Richmond player. 45 metres from goal, Bizzle goes bang and kicks a goal.
The second.
that was amazing to see the umpire from 10 metres away say no mark.
Yep.
Definitely no mark.
Well, there's one great mark, and there's no question about that. But this is an 11-point turnaround. The one that the Tigers missed, the goal they missed down at their end. And then this goal, let's just have a look.
I thought it was a mark.
Well, it was in the end,
replay,
I'd say.
Certainly looked it, yep.
But the umpire definitely didn't pay it. The one nearest to
you're right, spot on.
So Clinton Bizzle kicks his second goal and second long goal. One in the first quarter and one in the second. The difference now out to 10 points. Kilpatrick a chance, loses it. Flip further forward, Knights. He'll give it over to Chaffee. Evans just caught a little bit out of position there. Powell comes in strongly after having been on the bench for a little while. A little gift to Richardson, but it's on the shoulder of Geelong for a kick. I think it's going to be Mansfield's. And he'll take it at the true fullback position.
Well, I think all this mouthing off and stirring and the hardness at the ball by Geelong is just at this moment getting to the Tigers a little bit. Bizzle's been very impressive. Well, he could develop into a really top-class player, Bizzle. This is Sholty. Another quick goal here would be invaluable. Mitch, used his body beautifully, but he charged the Richmond player. And Gaspar, the umpire's paid some sort of a charge, I think.
And his head down.
Too high, maybe. Gaspar. He certainly ran straight at him.
They need a goal, Richmond.
So Gaspar's kicked it straight here to Gary Hocking. The Cats are fired up. Now they've got a loose man here in Bizzle out on centre wing. And Hocking gives it to him.
6-11, the free kicks in favour of Geelong. This is Milburn. 8 tackles to 2 in Geelong's favour. Milburn has kicked 1 goal, 1 so far. That's almost a mark to Bullis. He thinks he's got it. Geelong players are looking for holding the ball. Well, he's played holding the ball.
And he paid it after the fact that Paul Bullis had just let the ball tunnel out underneath him. Let's have a look here.
He didn't mark it, that's for sure.
No, but the umpire didn't see that he'd released it. But he certainly had it for a fair while under there.
Well,
tough decision, though.
The umpire would have called play on, surely. Coleman from 49. That's going pretty close. It's there. He's got it. Geelong on a roll. Well, they've had their claws sharpened this week, Geelong. They're pretty hard to pick. Mind you, so too are Richmond. The Tigers, as I mentioned earlier, still haven't lost 2 games in a row. They're not out of this, but the Cats have got their measure at the moment. 14 scoring shots.
Well, they've got a great record, Pete. As Jared, you run us through this, but they've got a great record against the Tigers.
Well, there it was. That was the final play in that passage, but the umpire had paid the free kick. And right at the moment, Geelong just harder at the loose ball.
Well, they've got a good record against them, Pete, but they did have 1 player in many of those wins. Number 5.
Used to kick 15 every
Correct.
time. Ablett is the player who used to demoralise Richmond numerous times. And Jared, I haven't seen Geelong tackle and chase and harass as much as this for a long time.
No, it's been a very good performance right from the word go when they came out and gang tackled Justin Charles before the siren had even started. They, I guess, expressed their sentiments right from the word go.
Barnes comes out to Rogers. Sanderson is there. He loses the ball in the tackle. Broderick. Again, you see 3 Geelong players come in at him, which is a good sign.
Paul Broderick gets himself up. Best and fairest winner a couple of seasons back in '96. So about just wide of the circle. Late in the second quarter. Steinford trying to barge through, gets unceremoniously dumped by Ottens. Actually, Prescott looking down there a bit like Bruce Dewar with the headband, except he's got more hair than Bruce ever did. He was off with the blood rule earlier. A director who's got no hair says he's too tall for his hair. We'll let that one go. A real scramble at midfield. Hocking tries to flip it out to the front. There's the siren, and here they come again. Like there's free beer out there, but that's not the case. And I suppose it's lucky that they do have to head in opposite directions to their dressing rooms, because otherwise, with the feeling here, we could see an ugly incident. Wayne Campbell expressing his displeasure. So Richmond have some soul searching to do at half-time, don't they?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They really have struggled at times to put the flow together. They haven't really gelled at all today. But Justin Charles came back in a blaze of glory by handballing to one goal to Nick Daffy, and then also taking a great mark. But that was about the last time there was anything really positive for the Tigers. And the Cats go off to the applause of their fans after having done a pretty good job in this opening half.
So at half-time, Geelong with a handy lead, not an unbeatable one, 6-8-44 to 4-4-28. We'll be back.
After serving the last of his sentence, Cameron Poe is taking the first plane home to his wife and daughter.
Today's flight is a special one. We're populating Alabama's Felton Penitentiary, the worst of the worst.
But one wrong flight
Oh, stewardess, what's the in-flight movie today?
can ruin your whole day.
What happened? We got the plane, man!
Welcome to Con Air.
You are not cleared for takeoff. Nobody on this aircraft gives a flying. Shoot it down. There are innocent people up there.
He's got this little girl to come home to. He's been waiting for this day for 8 years.
What are you gonna do? What do you think I'm going to? I'm gonna save the day.
Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich.
Buckle up!
Con Air. The premiere season begins Sunday, 8:30 on Movie One.
Thank you, and have a pleasant flight.
Saturday, be drawn into a mystery in the expert hands of Sherlock Holmes. One of the world's most famous fictional detectives tackles 13 baffling cases with breathtaking twists. From the original stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Jeremy Brett is Sherlock Holmes, with David Burke as Dr. Watson, in a series acclaimed around the world. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Saturday, 7:30 on Ovation.
Now you can take advantage of Optus Yes Time this summer. Call 1-800-501-296. Choose from any of these Freestyle mobile phones from as little as $29 and select a Freestyle rate plan package starting from just $20 a month. And we'll include this accessory pack valued at $69. It's a special bonus for Optus Vision subscribers. Your new Freestyle mobile phone and bonus accessory pack will be couriered straight to your door. That's something to look forward to.
Start of the second half here at the MCG. Light rain falling, so that's certainly going to help Geelong's cause. Totally outplaying Richmond, especially in the second quarter. Picked up by Rogers. Deck Gary Hocking. Ball comes out towards Harrison. Back to Daffy. One of the Tigers' goal kickers. A bit of aerial ping pong from Geelong. Mansfield, good gather in the end. Onto Steinfort right on the boundary line. Now, in fact, there is a whistle.
Push out.
It's coming back. And now the advantage is played. Milburn. Well, that was puzzling because it had gone about 30 to 40 metres upfield. Hargraves sees the ball out of bounds in front of Kellaway, right in front of the smokers stand for a throw-in. Lights on here at the G with the rain falling. 14 points the margin.
And we do believe that Batty Stoneham has done his hamstring. He did it early in the first quarter, so we won't expect him back on.
Minch tries a hand pass, not really effective in that it went to Peter Riccardi, who was under pressure. And so again, we're going to see a throw in.
And Justin Plapp onto the ground for the Tigers, and they've made a couple of structural changes to their forward line, with Brett Evans coming off the ground.
Geelong have been very good in defence today, Gerard, as it's knocked on by Hargraves to Steinfort, Kilpatrick, and this slippery ball is its foresight. A bit of a dust up behind the play here. Is it Gary Hocking and Andrew Callaway? Nothing too serious. He's having a real dip, Gary Hocking. Yeah. Well, he always does, but today in particular, he realises how important that this game is to the Cats. It is do or die as far as they're concerned. The big thump comes back towards the boundary. Oh, there's Barry Stoneham, who, as Gerard said, apparently did his hamstring in the first
30 seconds.
First 30 seconds. So that's a big loss to Geelong. Well, under the conditions, probably not so much.
It's a fair point you make, Pete.
They're doing pretty well at ground level, the Cats. But this slippery conditions, Gerald, make it very hard to get goals in a hurry under slippery conditions. We should favour the Cats at this stage.
And Richmond have just about got every ground level player they can muster out on the ground in response to that.
Look at Hocking going in hard. Well, Riccardi actually got in his way then. Knights, Colbert. You can see even there, Daffy, just a little fumble, but now he's got it. Nick Daffy to half forward. A little bit of a push by Plapp. And it's his mark, though. He's got to come back behind the mark. Mansfield standing about 5 metres away. So Justin Plapp way out at half forward. King has gone back for Geelong, but he's going short instead, and he finds Ben Harrison way out at half forward. Now, he's a left footer, so he's on the right side of the ground.
Jesus, is a big kick. If he can thread this one, the way the Tigers have started, you may well see them get on a bit of a roll.
So Harrison, what's happened here? Might be a blood rule, is it, or what? What's happening? There's the kick, but it will...
Just
kick.
The emergency umpire has gone out to speak to Gary Hocking, and another umpire also having words.
I think Gary Hocking's got to come off with a bit of a scratch.
And how Hocking's saying, where? Show me. I can't see any blood.
I'm just wondering if there was a report made there too with that little scuffle with Callaway behind the play, because the emergency umpire made a beeline for Hocking. I don't know whether the blood rule was coming into that as well.
Well, a little bit of drama, but it's been that sort of game. Yes, there's that nick under the eye, so the umpire quite rightly. He's not happy about going off, and they'll want to get him back on quick smart because he's been fantastic, Hocking.
Well, the advantage for Ben Harrison is he's now squared his sights.
Well, his first kick didn't quite make the distance either. It would be ironical if he now whacked it through.
You'd reckon he'd go to the top of the square with this one.
So Harrison runs in. It's off the side of the boot, but it's in front of their goal. The ball hits the deck, and they lock it in. Raleigh took a big chance then, hooking it back under, and the umpire will bounce.
As you can see, 20 metres out from goal. Gary Hocking still on the sidelines, and that rain becoming just a little bit heavier. Started during the half-time interval. Clapp knocks it forward. McGrath looking for a free kick, being held but not in position. There is none. And we're going to see another ball up. Similar distance out from goal. Richmond yet to lose 2 in succession under Jeff Geeshan. Yet to win 4 in a row too. Out of bounds again. So the Tigers getting a little bit of the footy. Clapp with Mansfield. That'll be a learning experience. Richardson and King. Powell, like a piece of soap, trying to pick up that footy. Campbell kicks across his body into the goal square. Oh, that's a good mark. That's Bizzle, who's delighted us with his long kicking today. He's kicked a couple of beautiful goals. To throw in. Bullis getting dumped right next to the interchange gates. Picks himself up, dusts himself off, and he'll start all over again. And Geelong have got bricks in their handbags today. Bullis taken high by Hocking, you would reckon. Oh, it's on. We may hear more about this.
He's fired up, Gary Hocking, as I said earlier. He's having a big game. Look at the look on him.
Let's take a look at that again. That was too high, obvious enough. I'd like to have seen more of that. I think what followed was, or will be looked at maybe a little bit later on. Bullis. That's coming back. It's coming back.
It's got to come back.
It's going to come back to the protagonist.
He's having a go at Bullers, and Bullers coming back. And this has been going on all game, the mouthing off. I haven't seen a game where there's so much mouthing off.
What did he say? You couldn't hurt me with a hammer in each hand or something like that?
It's all good fun, isn't it, Gerard?
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't pick either of them. Paul Bullis has got the free kick. And this is a real old-fashioned game of footy, this one. Bullis gets underneath the kick a little bit. Big pack of players. Richardson was the flyer, couldn't control it. His opposite number 12 will get a chance now, and that's Scholl, whose ball skills are usually pretty good. Uses them 100%, kicks up towards centre field. Punch away by Cole, but Hargraves a little gift to Riccardi.
And you couldn't give it to a better man. He's a beautiful kick. He kicks long on this occasion. He kicked to a contest. Should have been looking for Barnes. This is Callaway. Andrew Callaway. Back to Rogers. No, it's not. It's Chaffee. Chaffee to the centre of the ground. Powell couldn't hang on to it. He's got some support from Bowden. Hasn't done a lot. Hocking goes in hard. He's tackled. Oh, in goes Scholl. Strong play in the centre of the ground. Umpire still calling play on. Broderick. Kick by Campbell in mid-air. Oh, it's dropped down here, but it's a slippery ball. Mansfield dodging and ducking and weaving. Sanderson tackled. Now Bizzle. He's been very, very good, Bizzle, on the Mansfield, and that's good football, but he's kicked it straight to Rogers.
Well, they've had all the play, the Tigers, but just can't quite get one through the goals.
Well, you were right, Gerard. Goals are going to be at a premium under these weather conditions. That's out of bounds on the full. Harrison ruining the moment.
Well, Pete, the Cats were fired up right from the first seconds of the game.
Well, they made their presence felt, didn't they, on Charles?
Yep.
And that set the tone for perhaps the rest of the afternoon. Mansfield at left half back through the gloom. Ball punch to the front. Hamish Simpson has got it. Holding the footy is unjust. Campbell. King in front has to sit and wait. Bizzle's got the mark. Scholl. Cats' defence has been under siege this quarter, but they've stood up pretty well, haven't they? It comes to Hamish Simpson again. He takes it over the line. It will be a throw-in close to centre wing.
Yeah, they've somehow got to try and change the balance in their forward line, Richmond, because they're just bombing the ball down there and they're being swamped. Stephen King's just sitting back there. Geelong are getting enough free players back, blocking up some holes.
Big punch away by Gale. Scholl again. Hand pass comes back to him.
Bizzle again.
Bizzle, that's right. This is Sanderson though. It's out of bounds. Right on 50.
I think one of the problems, Peter, is that because it's such a scrappy game, the Tigers can't get the ball in there quickly.
Another change being made. Evans is going to come back on.
Harrison off.
Harrison's coming off. Riley gets it to Scholl, who's bothering Richmond just as much as the statisticians at the moment. Benny Gale out to Powell, who is a runner and can kick long. Centres it with the left foot. Guess who? Bizzle again. Might have been taken high. Was taken high according to the umpire. Campbell may have given away 50. But that won't be the case. Well, look, there's Bizzle's free kick, as I said, for the high tackle.
Well, I reckon Bizzle is not far off best on the ground. I think he's played a fantastic game. What do you think, Gerard?
Well, him and along, I think Buddha's also had a pretty fair game.
Yeah. Kilpatrick. And Brad Scholl getting plenty of possessions. He's had 16 kicks. Good mark to Callaway, floating across the pack. They're having all the play at the moment, the Tigers. This is Chaffee. He's way out on centre wing.
Once again, just slowly into that forward line. There's a big pack of players down there.
The kick in towards half forward. Oh, good mark to Evans, who used his body to perfection. Now, he's got the loose man out here. Powell has marked. And Powell is a very long kick. Now, he will have to kick this ball 50 metres with a slippery ball.
He's got Bowden just pushing down, and he's got the trainer in his way.
And he's got the help of the trainer there, just toweling down that beautiful new football. He is a good kick, Robert Powell, and boy, they need this one because they've had all the play in this term and haven't been able to capitalise.
And we're only 2.5 minutes from the halfway mark of the term too.
Yep, and their last goal was at the 7.5-minute mark of the second quarter at Richmond.
Just inside 50, Robert Powell hooks it slightly. You can hear the murmur of the crowd. You know he's missed. So the Cats hanging on, but they've got a lot of good players, Jared, down in defence, Geelong.
They have, and they're teaming pretty well. And you just reckon that if they can absorb this challenge for the next minute or two and go forward, pinch one, they could break Richmond.
Mansfield. As with this rain, you'd be forgiven for suggesting that 10 goals perhaps would win it here this afternoon. Remains to be seen. Richmond with all the play in the first part of the third quarter. Clapp gets around Steinfort. Goes in short, and that's okay. Daffy thought about playing on, hasn't gone over the mark. Now he does. Gets it onto Knights. Knights marks 45 out, around about a 50-degree angle. And the trainer with the towel doing some particularly good work. Knights hasn't scored a goal today. Winner of two best and fairests for Richmond.
But Pete, Geelong haven't been forward.
No.
It's just been continually in Richmond's forward zone.
Still 15 points the margin, though. They can't score, so the Cats' defence standing up well. Knights just inside 50. He's missed to the left-hand side and kicks one behind. His first score of the day, so the difference to 14 points. 4-6 to 6-8. It was 4-4 to 6-8 at half-time. Brenton Sanderson. He's going to bring the ball back into play. He goes short. That had to be really pinpoint, that kick, because Mansfield was outnumbered 3-1. It was good enough. That'll be a high tackle on Steinfort. He'll take the free kick short of right centre wing. Jared says a mark. Well,
yeah, the umpire signalled a mark.
Did he signal a mark? Yep. Well, he was taken high. Anyway, he's got the kick. That could have been a push to Bowden. It wasn't. Safi gets grabbed as well. It's out of bounds, right in the middle of the interchange gates.
And since Matthew Richardson kicked that goal at the 7.5-minute mark of the second quarter, Paul Broderick's missed. Bowden missed a goal that he should have kicked. Nick Daffy had that one out of mid-air that he should have also kicked. And then Powell and Knights have both had direct shots. So they've only got themselves to the blame at the present time, the Cats.
Good stats here, Jared. Well done. A ball on centre wing. There's Justin Charles, Ben Harrison.
That comes courtesy of our number one stat keeper in the Channel 7. You know that.
Yes, the mighty Paul.
Toddy from Wirrabee.
Yeah, Paul Todd. He's doing a wonderful job again. But it's on centre wing with Daffy, Bacardi. Quick hand pass. If they can go down and pinch one, they'll be hard to beat the Cats. Colbert. Well, it's with Daffy. He received it from Campbell. It's half forward for Richmond. Scholl lays the tackle, holding the ball. Advantage played. Bizzle's been fantastic. On the left foot. Down the direction of Barnes. No mark. Spicks trying to get it out. Sock it off the ground. Here's Bowden. He bends it back to the centre of the ground. Prescott has it taken away by Kilpatrick, who tries to tunnel ball it. Look at Hocking going in. Oh, they're into it again. Hocking and Prescott on the ground. And Buddha, he's a tough nut, Jared. You've had him in state sides.
Well, he was outstanding again for us this year. He's one of the best midfielders, I think, that in the modern era, Peter. He's just really only missing a grand final or a premiership, I should say, to his career.
Chaffee takes the mark. Richmond fans looking for a little bit more.
He'd have to be one of the greatest players that Geelong's ever produced, Peter, wouldn't he? He's in that calibre.
Yep. I'm glad he wasn't Mike before when he was having that argument with Paul Bullis. The kick by Powell comes up towards left half forward flank. Sanderson almost taken high by Broderick. Nothing from the umpire. Hocking, about whom we were speaking. Kicks up towards midfield, and Kilpatrick, the Oysters man, inside the centre square. So the Cats have withstood the early barrage in this term from Richmond. They may be able to notch up a score of their own. McGrath. Got the big fellow King. Barnes. Almost a little nudge there. Picked up by Snell. Out of bounds. done better with that. Still the difference, 14 points. Scott Turner to bring it back. So Geelong still to add to their half-time tally. Richmond has added just the 2 behinds. Oh, Gale looks for a push in the back and gets it. So Richardson kicks it towards midfield. Foul. Seemed to be retarded a little bit there. The umpire says nothing for it. Bizzle, who has been good. Loose ball comes out towards the boundary line near the interchange gates, mopping up his shoal. A little bit of a balk to get around Powell, who looked a little bit awkward there. Colbert gives it back to Kilpatrick. That's going long. It nearly goes through for a goal, but rushed over the line by Benny Gale for the first score to Geelong in this third quarter.
What about that desperation by Bizzle down on that half-back line?
It's a big game, isn't he?
Unbelievable.
15 points is the margin. And the man who stopped the kick takes the kick in.
He's had 21 possessions, Bizzle. Gale
to Rogers.
So he's getting very close to best man on the ground status at the moment, Bizzle. He has just been fantastic and just showing signs he's going to become a very, very top player. Here's Kilpatrick looking for the hand pass. He bends it back to Daffy. No mark. Danger here because Riccardi's got it. He's dragged when he didn't have it. They latch in onto it. Steinford. And the umpire will come in and bounce. Free kick to Richmond, I think the way the umpire pointed, is it? Against Hargraves, maybe. And it will go down there to Tawney. Now, Tawney's got Callaway loose. Oh, gee, Gary Ayres wouldn't like that. Callaway kicks a little bit up and under, but no mark to Plapp. On the Knights. Matthew Knight waits, then starts to deliver. Oh, Bizzle again was very desperate. Campbell kicks towards goal. Barnes should force this through. Very slow getting there. Is that out in the full against Barnes? It is. Campbell calling for it. And it's Darren Gasper on the boundary line. I thought Barnes was just a bit lackadaisical going for that.
Play on.
Gasper for the banana kick. Oh, he's got it. That looks good. It's a goal. Brilliant goal to Darren Gasper. Boy, maybe that will be the goal that turns the tide. 9 points now in favour of the Cats.
Well, an unlikely kick, wasn't it, for a goal, the hardest of the lot.
Take us through this one, Pete.
Well, it was just a brilliant kick. I think he really wanted to pass it off, Jared.
But he altered the way he held the ball pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah. But I think John Barnes should have forced that ball through from behind in the first place.
Tiger fans find a little bit of voice midway through the third quarter. In fact, we're past the halfway mark of the term, and just the 1 goal scored by the Tigers under these wet and slippery conditions. Sanderson's got it. He's all wrapped up by Daffy, and it will be another ball up. 9 points is the margin. King. How do I go with this? Hocking burrows his way through the mud. Broderick slips over at the crucial moment. Richardson covering plenty of ground in the third quarter from right centre wing. Evans is his target. He got well and truly underneath the ball. Mansfield, ball jar free. Powell has a snapshot. It's rolling. It needs to turn. It doesn't turn it up.
He'll get another kick though, Pete. Umpire's going to bring it back and give him a second opportunity.
Had it been a goal, it would have counted. And the Towel boys doing a lot of work out there, the trainers. So Evans, the Birdman, they call him at Punt Road. Looks more like a mole at the moment, doesn't he, with face mud bespattered. Dual premiership player with Springvale in the VFL, formerly the VFA, of course. 40 metres out. It's close. It's there. It's a goal. He's got it. He becomes Richmond's first multiple goal scorer today with 2. And there's less than a kick in it. 6 minutes left in the quarter.
Yes, and Geelong really have to get something going forward now. They have struggled to get the ball into their forward line. They scored just one behind in this turn, and that was just a rush point. As against the Tigers, who have struggled all quarter to kick a goal, now they've kicked 2 quick ones in a couple of minutes.
Yes, it's been all Richmond in this term as far as opportunities. There's Sanderson, a quick kick, but they're falling down across half forward. Gaspar. Nice kick by Gaspar. Finds Richardson, who's been moved way out from full forward. He gives it off to Daffy. Daffy kicks to half forward, taken by King, who's played fairly well. A wobbly old kick.
Why would you go so wide, Pop?
Yeah. But a good mark taken down here, and that is Hamish Simpson. Across the ground is McGrath. Richmond have got on top, across half back. This is Scholl getting heaps and heaps of touches. He didn't have anyone to kick it to, so he went for the safety of the boundary line and put it over. Now, McGrath coming off now, but don't tell me he's injured. He'd be a huge loss. Hargraves coming on, so they've lost Stoneham, and here's Riccardi. They need a quick goal, the Cats, because Richmond with enormous momentum here. Milburn going in after it. And the umpire will bounce it.
Right in front of the MCG members.
Daffy also coming off the ground. One presumes for a bit of a rest. And number 27 in Damien Ryan also on.
And that stat, just showing us how much Richmond have had the footy inside 50 this quarter. They may be able to add to that quickly. Chaffee's kick up towards centre wing. No mark taken. Play on call from the umpire. Callaway off the ground. Up and under. It's as far as it's going. Mansfield, as usual, in the road. He's short of right centre wing. A little bit more space where he's kicked it. Big punch away. Clears the zone. Callaway again. Richardson had to put his body on the line there. Hargraves just gets it out in time. Knights cannoned into by Simpson. That's Sean Simpson on the ground for the first time. Oh, a boot went in there. The ball didn't come out. Turner. They move it forward like a rugby scrum.
Tough to get a free kick these days, Pete.
Oh, they're just tearing into the packs and head first, and it's been a ferocious game.
So under 4 minutes left in the quarter. The Cats leading by 3 points. They trailed by over 2 goals at half-time. Totally different ball game, isn't it? After the rain came, the conditions weren't too bad. The ground had dried out appreciably after the showers we had this morning. The super stopper was used, but it's a lot damper now underfoot.
And Geelong continue to use Stephen King as a loose man in defence.
Campbell just gets the kick in through the legs of Scholl. Daffy tries to go off the ground, might get a second chance. Nearly got poleaxed in that encounter. Scholl, clean pickup, well shepherded by Barnes. Kicking let him down earlier. That one is a little bit longer. Mopping up Tawney. Knights. Rogers over the top. It'll be another ball up.
I need a crummer down there, Gerard. Badly, Geelong.
Yeah, they haven't been able to find anybody that's going to look like kicking a goal for it some time.
There's Jeff Geechan. He'd be a happier man now than at half-time. Duncan Callaway there in the box today. Bullis. Gaspar. Knights. And now Bowden to centre wing. A couple of players just sat back there. Roderick, Kilpatrick. This will go to the line, I would think. So it's almost on centre wing for a throw-in. And Richardson with a wry grin on his face. They trail the Tigers, trail the Cats by 3 points.
2.5 minutes to three-quarter time. Gale had an eerie almost. Kick came from Chaffee. Bizzle. Well, he's done some good things today, but that certainly wasn't his best kick. He may be able to pick it up. It's made a foot race between he and Evans. Barnes comes in. It's out of bounds. Warm applause from supporters of both sides. Just the 3 points the Cats' way. But Richmond did attack again, as they have been for most of this quarter. King in front, Gaspar behind. Evans couldn't get a clear hand pass. Barnes grab. The Cats charge it forward. Kilpatrick at midfield. They work that well, Geelong. Bounces kindly for Rogers. Brushes a tackle at half-back. Looks for options across centre field or centre wing. Comes out towards the member stand side. The ball skids. It's still in play. It stops. And finally taken over by Brenton Sanderson in front of Matthew Knights.
Well, they're just looking too slow down in their forward line at the present time. Geelong, the ball comes into their forward line and constantly and consistently their forwards are caught behind. And I just think, Peter, they need a smaller type of full forward down there.
They certainly do, Gerard. It's, the bigger players aren't doing the job down there, Broderick. And one would think if Richmond could get one here before three-quarter time, they'll be very difficult to beat. And they've got a chance. Down there, Plapper's there. Now King. King around the boundary line, gains about 30 metres and over the line. What would you do with King, Gerard?
Well, you'd even try him into the ruck and put Barnes at full forward or just change the mix somewhat. I don't think the ball's been bombed into the forward line enough times for him to justify having him down there as a loose man.
So Wayne Campbell did that very well. 2-on-1 here. Oh, Campbell's dropped it. Richardson gets it out. It's kicked by Hargraves. This is Raleigh. Oh, good dodge and weave. Bizzle, we've sung his praises. He's been good.
He's done well on defence.
Hargraves, he's kicked it straight to Knights, who couldn't quite hang on to it.
Throw.
It's a throw, but it'll come back. It's a Richmond kick back here with Broderick.
The game this quarter has been played in the Richmond forward 50, and they haven't conceded all that many goals in the back line, only just 2 this quarter. Do you reckon that they can't continue to resist?
So Broderick with 45 seconds to go until three-quarter time. I think it'll be a terrible psychological blow to Geelong if Richmond go in and the lead with three-quarter time. They're behind at the moment, the Tigers. This is Powell.
Need to kick it quickly.
Geelong have got numbers back. King is in front of the top of the square. Now Powell kicks to a space. They've got numbers there. Richardson was one of them. Gives it to Daffy. Daffy bends it back. This could be it. No mark to Gaspar. Courageous umpiring. Oh, has he paid it? Well, the Geelong players are livid. I think he paid the mark.
I think he paid the free kick.
Hargraves down too in trouble.
Reckon he paid the free, Gerard?
I thought he did, Pete.
Hargraves has heard the Geelong players are, well, Gaspar's got the kick from 35 to 40 metres directly in front. He may have paid the free kick. I just didn't quite catch the signal of the umpire. So this might be the goal I was talking about, that psychological one for Richmond to take the lead at three-quarter time. What do you think, Gerard? Let's have a look.
Well, this is the initial one. That we saw the injury there to young Hargraves, and that ball got snapped around the corner. And we'll have a look at that next one after the result of this kick.
So Gaspar from directly in front of the siren sound. He's goal and put Richmond in front by 3 points.
Right on the siren, Darren Gaspar gets his second. Certainly a controversial one, but Richmond did have the play in their forward line for perhaps 75% of the quarter, and they are rewarded by a lead of 3 points at three-quarter time.
We'll have a look at this one. Was this a mark or a free kick? Certainly no mark.
Certainly no free.
Well, what was it then? Had to pay one of them.
Well, no wonder the Geelong players were arguing. Yeah. That's all I can say.
I suppose you could argue a mark under wet weather conditions, but he may have also been taken high.
Pete, I couldn't care if it was in a tide. That was not a mark.
Okay.
He didn't hold it for any length of time.
All right, fair enough. Jeff Geeshan marshals his troops, and it's going to be a clinker. It should go right down to the wire at the MCG. 3 points the difference at the final change. He's bringing them right over in front of the Tiger crowd, and they are really firing the crowd up by this ploy. He'll be hoping that it brings them some sort of return in the quarter still to come. We'll take a break from the MCG. Back in a moment.
The pride and the passion of English soccer is no better illustrated than by glamour club Chelsea. Add the rivalry of a local London derby and the mixture becomes explosive.
Good effort, and it's there! And there's number 2!
The emotional flashpoints for the players driven on by their fanatical fans. Chelsea versus their London foes.
It's a terrific goal for Chelsea!
In an English soccer special, Monday night at 7 on Sports Australia Channel 12.
In the 1997 Amy Cup, Parramatta had a backline that could attack from anywhere. Inside centre Brett Matthews was the star. Matthews was the man the two Blues looked at to get the job done, and he didn't let them down. Off the ruck and in broken play, Matthews was the most dangerous, and he combined well with his forwards. And is this the try from hell? Watch fly half of Thura's left-handed inside flick pass to keep the Parramatta attack on song. And who calls for the ball to go wide? That man, Matthews. And what a great Parramatta try. Parramatta, part of Sports Australia's rugby greats.
Up to that and brought him down. That's the 5th now. They're still on the attack. South Crindle into the air. Brasher through after it. Beautifully taken by the winger Forrest. The referee is going to award the try. Under the uprights, Matthew Johns. Crossfield grubbers it. Race for the ball. He's going to win a race. He does. Matthew Johns, sheer brilliance.
Start of the final quarter at the MCG. Richmond leading by 3 points. They kicked 3-2 to 1 behind during the 3rd term. The bad news for the Cats is Stodham, of course, and McGrath still off the ground. They'll take no further part in the game, you'd reckon. Kilpatrick gives them something early. Long kick up towards Spinks, who couldn't complete the mark. Rogers out of the congestion. Steinfort right on the boundary line, chips it in short. Riccardi. Long left footer. Turner and Gale in the front. Punch to the front. Pretty tight in the clinches, as it has been after half-time, and it will be a ball up. 35 metres out from the Geelong goal.
And both sides looking for someone to step up and take some marks and kick goals, or crumb it and kick some goals.
Geelong certainly missing Ronnie Burns under these conditions. Broderick, a little fumble, may prove costly. At least not yet. Daffy does well in a tight situation. Uses his speed to good effect. Straight down the centre of the ground. Sanderson, no, it's not Sanderson in front. It's Scholl. He's been certainly one of Geelong's leading kick getters today. 19. He's taken 5 marks and 3 hand passes as well, so he's been very productive.
I reckon it'll be John Barnes. If anybody is to win this game for Geelong, Barnes, he has to step up, mark it and kick goals.
Well, there he is, just nudged out by Jasper. Certainly Richmond looked the side more likely to score goals by their forwards, knocked on by Powell.
Just finessing under those circumstances.
Yep, there's Daffy. A quick kick, and is that a mark? Umpire said yes. Michael Mansfield, I bet they've been tempted to put him down the forward line, but with McGrath off the ground, they probably need him on the back line. Colbert using his body pretty well on nights. Good play by Colbert. He's got young Brockman going in to lend a hand.
Did it well too.
Brockman has got it. Hand pass. This is Steinfort. That's the way, going long in towards the half-forward area, hoping. That's a good mark to Brendan Gale. He back into the pack.
Daffy running through.
Daffy clears out. The duck at left half back. Looks for Platt. Show again. Gets a heavy knock in the process. Powell has a socket away from him. Barnes a chance. Daffy there. Still Daffy. Hocking. Milburn. Right on the boundary line. Over the head of Broderick. Tawney from behind. Couldn't punch it. Simpson. Sean Simpson right on the boundary line. Centering kick. King and Turner. Turner in front. King behind. Turner will try to rush it through. Can't. Bizzle but the umpire has blown his whistle for a ball up. Clinton Bizzle has had certainly one of his best games. 13 kicks, 10 handballs and 7 marks, plus 2 good goals from the Queenslander. They hit the post, so it is finally a rush behind to the Cats. They started with a string of them in the first quarter, and that's their 5th of the afternoon. 2 points the margin.
So pressure on the kicker here from fullback. It's Scott Turner. A slippery ball, conditions not easy. A great side-on view of the MCG. As Turner's not mucking around. He's bringing. Oh, he didn't finish. The Geelong players were there. Good play by Steinford. Oh, too slow. Colbert had to get that ball onto his boot far quicker than that. In that situation, the umpire will come in and bounce.
Great tackle by Gasper.
He's been one of Richmond's best again today. Really has had a magnificent season.
Yes, he hasn't had many possessions, but he has been terrific at half-back. He puts enormous pressure on his opponent. Now that's Hargraves. I want King to take a mark. He can't. Here's Snell. Close to the boundary line. Always kept in play. This is dangerous. Snell back to Riccardi. He gets the ball onto the boot. That is a magnificent goal.
Geelong in front.
Well, that might be the team lifter. The Cats in front. What about that one, Gerald?
Well, just really had to be either taken over the boundary line, or they could understand Steve Turner's reticence, because he may well have been penalised for deliberately taking the ball out of bounds. But here's the scenario and the situation. That was there. It just shinned the ball when it really needed just to be dribbled over the line.
2 goals to Peter Riccardi, both kicked at that end. He kicked one in the second quarter, which bounced through, and that one could have a telling effect on this game. Geelong back in front by 4 points, but there's a centre square infringement. It's going Richmond's way. The recipient of the free kick will be Benny Gale. Gale at the circle. The Tigers want the quick reply. They worked hard for their 3 goals in the third quarter. Geelong just with 1 goal since half-time, and that was the goal then by Riccardi. Campbell. Marking contest. Broderick onto the left. His favourite foot. Brockman. Oh, bounces out in front of him.
There were 3 Geelong players on their own if they could have got possession.
Yep. Yours, partner.
That was very lucky bounce there for the Tigers, without doubt. And they're looking for a goal kicker also. They get 2 out of Darren Gasper, their centre-half back in the third quarter.
Brockman and Evans. And nudging out his Geelong opponent. Gets the footy, but can't do anything with it. One of only 2 multiple goal kickers for the Tigers today. He and Darren Gasper. Evans over the top. Kick away by Mensch. Colbert. Clever to do it that way, running with the flight of the football. Steinford's kick only travels 1.5 meters. Colbert, 100 gamer. Bounce is certainly going to be a factor here. Rogers did best in a pretty tight situation. Nearly gets run down as he gets the kick in. Intended for Powell or Evans. Powell's got it. Kicks quickly but out of bounds on the full. Free kick Geelong way to be taken by Brenton Sanderson.
So it's not a sort of day where you can finesse with the ball. You have to get it. There's young Brockman. He's got the job in the ruck at the moment. Now he's gone wide. Because out here he's got Mansfield. Now he can run. Now he elects to come inside and give the ball off. This is Riley. Oh, goodness me. Why won't they kick it? That is terrible football. And this is going to cost them a goal, maybe. Evans has got it. Why, when you're running clear towards goal, wouldn't you kick it 60 metres? Just tell me that.
Well, they're programmed not to do that, though, aren't they? They've displayed that over a fair passage of time, but they're always looking to maintain possession by going with the short. And here's Riley looking up board, trying to come back in towards the centre of the ground. And coming from the blind side was that head-high tackle by Campbell, but he did duck his head, so I think it was a fair decision from the umpire to let it go.
Both players, both Geelong players could have kicked the ball 60 metres, and I mean they're leading the game. Anyway, let's get back to Evans having a kick for goal. It might be costly, just inside 50. Evans is a beautiful kick. Richmond in front.
3 goals for Brett Evans, the leading goal kicker in the match, and that restores the lead for Richmond by 2 points.
And the lead has continued to change since three-quarter time. Since half-time, it's changed 7 times.
Great kick under these conditions. Straight through the centre from the former VFL star. 3 goals to the dual Springvale Premiership player.
In fact, we're told by the master statistician that since the start of the game it's changed 7 times.
14 minutes left in the match. The Tigers back in front by just 2 points after Evans' third. And what a game. Can the Cats pinch it? Under Geeshan, the Tigers still to lose 2 in a row. Gaspar trying to crash his way through, not successful. It's untidy stuff in there, but hard. Richardson had it, couldn't do anything with it. Mansfield, quick hand pass to Kilpatrick. Into space at half forward. Richmond with the numbers. A fumble not needed here. Turner, well played. Steinfort, the only player out there. The ball skids away from him at great speed to the boundary line, but he gets there to pick it up. Clapp had him. Still Geelong's ball. Sanderson lost it. Knights, great stuff from the skipper. Clapp got it back. Now Prescott. Broderick. Well, straight into the arms of Brockman, who at the second grab takes the mark. Only a youngster. Spent a bit of time on the bench today. Brockman gets the mark out to the centre wing where Milburn takes it. Number 9 is Bizzle, and what a game he's had.
Big change coming here for the Tigers. Back comes Justin Charles and Matthew Richardson sits down.
Bizzle, well, will he make his mark? That's a Queenslander like Dunstall did. Hargraves kick up into the forward line. Turner looks for the free kick on Snell for holding the ball. The umpire says no sorry, Bob, and Callaway goes defensively for the boundary line, but he's found the teammate in Harrison.
Yeah, they might have to do something with Stephen King down there, because he's just too slow down there at full forward. Their Turner's running off him. Here's Bizzle. Couldn't quite hang on to it. The free kick he must have played. He couldn't have played the mark.
Having said that, Pete, I reckon he's looked more likely of taking an overhead mark than Brett Spinks.
How many's he taken, though?
No, not too ready.
Well, here's Bizzle. He might take one now, Gerard. He's out there. Stephen King. Is very difficult for big men under these slippery conditions to take overhead marks. The ball's on the ground 9 times out of 10. So Barnes. Bizzle went flying over the top. Hocking charges in. 2 points the margin in favour of Richmond. What a big last 11.5 minutes this is. There's Jeff Geeshan, Duncan Callaway on his left, on his right and our left. Barnes, beautiful hit out by Barnes. He's looking down here for Steinfort. It's in front of the Geelong goal. Tawney, Bizzle hits it out. That's good play. Milburn, mark, taken down here by Snell. Oh boy, he's marked 15 metres out. If he kicks this, the Cats are in front.
Scissors been tight and desperate in the clinches and front position, the only one to take. And Jason Snell has paid the ultimate sacrifice with the body, but he's come up with a shot at goal.
A huge kick coming up for this young player to put the Cats in front. He's kicked it. What a game this is, Gerard. I wouldn't know who to declare at this stage.
Well, it's a crystal ball job, isn't it? 11 minutes of play remaining, and not many goals are going to be scored, so it's going to be a cliffhanger without question.
I said earlier that 10 goals might be a winning score. It's going to be close to that, isn't it?
Yep, spot on.
Geelong can get the next one. You would probably almost suggest they could be home. Richmond must get it if they're going to have a chance to win. Gale's hit out. Couldn't find a teammate. Kilpatrick's kick Bowden. Broderick. They try to set it up. Gale back to Broderick, back to Gale. Milburn was in the road. Campbell. Quick kick. It's the way to do it. Scholl, who has been very, very good today. Played at both ends of the ground. And this guy has too. Bizzle's kick. Milburn and Rogers. The boundary line is too close.
I actually think Bizzle's been best man in the ground. I think he's been sensational.
I loved his 2 long goals. You would have too.
He's done everything.
Well, can the Tigers get the next one? They trailed by 4 points. The 2 number 25s, Brockman and Gale. Campbell off a step, kicks up towards centre wing.
Got to be a free
marking contest. Yes, there is a free kick. Powell's got it, but I think it's going to come back. It is. The advantage not paid. Clapp goes to Prescott. Over Milburn's head. Barnes.
Great punch.
Thumps it for Colbert. Mansfield. Geelong defence standing firm, out of bounds. They did that well. Worked it terrifically to the member stand flank.
Well, they lead by 4 points. They lost Stoneham at the beginning of the game in the first 30 seconds. They've got McGrath off the ground.
Ronnie Burns didn't take his
place in the side. Richmond have fought their way back, and they certainly look towards the end of they dominated the third term, Richmond. Here's Campbell, good tackle by Milburn. Hocking, he was fantastic, particularly early. Here's Colbert and Knights. He's chipping it across towards Bowden. He's danger for Geelong. Joel Bowden kicks it long.
Just long bombs.
It wasn't actually a good kick in the... Barnes read it well. It wasn't direct enough towards the tip of the goal square, was it, Joe?
No, last 2 shots into the forward line of Richmond have been just long bombs, and Barnes just cleared it both times.
Well, Steinford. Brockman. Oh, he did that well. Used his body very, very well on Gasper.
Brockman at right centre wing. His opposite number again in the thick of things, Benny Gale. To the last part of the last quarter. Next goal crucial in the outcome of this match. If Geelong can get it, you think they might just about pinch it. Minch had a fumble. Gets another chance. Gets it kicked out of his hands almost. Now Barnes from Milburn. Is it far enough? No, it wasn't. Colbert. The umpire says play on. Wasn't the required distance for a mark. Geelong work it forward. Riccardi was there. Evans will go off the ground. Harrison beats him to it. Milburn.
It's out in the full.
It's out.
That was off his foot.
Yeah, it didn't quite carry the line, Pete. I don't think.
Gee, I thought it did. Have a look at this. Off his foot. Off his foot. Oh, I thought it did.
Throw in. 60 metres punched away by Colbert. Punched back by Simpson. Chaffee in there. Another ball up. Still 4 points the margin. 8 minutes of the game remaining. Gale up high, tried to get it to Chaffee. Thumped away by Prescott. It came off the feet of Kilpatrick. It's out of bounds for another throw-in.
Geelong certainly got the advantage. The fact that they're 4 points in front. If they could get one here, it'll be hard to come from 2 goals behind. Kilpatrick to the half-forward line. No mark. Oh, Bizzle went in after it again. Good play, Riley. He's got to get a hand pass in. He does. Hocking has it smothered. Taken away by Campbell. He ducks ahead. He was trying to get a free kick. It's knocked out. Back it comes. Rogers towards half-forward. Underneath it was Sanderson. It's a loose ball with Scholl. He reads the play very well. Oh, not a good kick, but Simpson. Scholl again. Oh, he's good at ducking and weaving. Simpson, he doesn't muck around. He kicks it long. Can King take a mark? He's shoved out of it. And a free kick against King for holding the man. King can't understand it.
He certainly grabs Turner by the arm.
So Turner brings it out wide and finds Benny Gale.
Gale short of right half back. Tigers can't seem to get past the centre at the moment. Turner. Comes up the centre wing, player on his knees there is Bowden. We haven't seen too much of him today. That might be, no.
We reckon Richmond were 12 goals in front.
The way they're playing.
Well, Joel Bowden, he took half an hour to get into that kick.
Chaffee to Gale. He goes direct, although not long. Ball to the front for Colbert. Oh, he's kicked it Richmond's direction, so not really to the disadvantage of the Tigers. It's out of bounds, about 60 metres from goal.
Well, what was his intention there, I repeat?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, Richmond still have a sniff. 6.5 minutes left in the contest. They've got to get the next goal. Opportunities aren't going to be too many more. Prescott. Geelong with numbers. Steinford goes off the ground, out on the full. Cool heads needed here. Campbell. Now will he go short? Will he go long? He's put it out in front of goal. Probably the best play. Geelong everywhere. The Crummers are there. Gary Hocking. Cool in the crisis. And he gets it onto Scholl, who clears long to the outer side.
Scholl's been very good. Here's Bizzle and Harrison. Oh, he's shoved off the ball. Good play by Harrison. Knights bringing it back to half forward. Powell's a very good kick. He will have to kick this 55, but he's electing to go short. And he's got the man there in Chaffee. Mark Chaffee. What a big kick coming up now. He's passing it off too. It'll still be a 50-metre kick. This is Powell. With a slippery ball, it's difficult. Powell asking the umpire where the mark is. But will take a 55-metre kick. He is a huge kick, Robert Powell.
Might be their last chance.
He runs out to the left. Look at that booming kick. It's still in play, in fact. Oh, look at this. Or was it, did it cross the line? It crossed the line from behind. So Richmond chipping away. 3 points the margin. We've got 5 minutes and 10 seconds left.
58 to 55. Gary Hocking, who really sounded off in an exchange earlier today as Prescott comes off the ground. An exchange with Paul Bullis. Didn't have to have the mic. He could lip read fairly well. And this must be a blood rule because they are still waiting. Second time today that Prescott's had to come off for the blood rule. Justin Clapp is back on. Clock, of course, stopped while this is happening. Stopped just over 5 minutes. And the cut on the back of his head. Now Gary Hocking getting the hurry up from the umpire. Oh, bad kick. Maybe in that delay he lost concentration. Knights. Well, on a dry day you'd give him a chance to at least get the distance from there. Richardson calling for it. He goes to Richo, who's a better kick distance-wise.
Got to go back to. Time on was blown.
Look at the eyes.
Well, it's a pretty low percentage shot at goal.
Campbell.
And not a bad option to try and find somebody to kick it, to open up the goal mouth somewhat. What an important kick this one.
Well, it might be modern-day football to kick short from full back. But I think if you're leading by 4 points with a few minutes to go, I think it's a very doubtful kick with a wet ball.
Yes, well, we saw an instance of that at the Gabba earlier in the year in the dying minutes. Campbell bombs it long. Tall timber needed here in front of goal. Chaffee snaps out of bounds on the full, I'd reckon. So another opportunity lost, and Geelong fans breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, the way the game's been played, Geelong are just going to have to hang on here. No mark to Brockman. Here's Knights. There's Richmond are fighting hard. Campbell. Mitch did pretty well, but he's got into the neck of Matthew Knights. And it's a little fella's kick. Look at him up and looking around for a pass. They're chipping away Richmond, trying to get down and get close to goal to have an easy shot. Here's Gaspar. No mark. Now Powell on the right foot. Robert Powell. Richardson is marked. Now Richardson will kick. It'll be a difficult angle. It's not an easy kick. Now will he play on and run around?
I was going to ask Husky, that.
Well, it looks like he might come out to the right and open up the goals. No, he's having the set shot. He kicks, and he's gone. Richmond in front.
Okay, Jared, what are the tactics from here on in?
Win the ball out of the centre. Both sides have to win the ball out of the centre. Probably if you're a Richmond, you may start an extra man in defence at the present time and have him run forward. But you've just got to have your best midfielders in there. You've got to have your ruckman jump hard at the play to bring it to ground, and then if you're a Richmond, maybe swamp the football because they know that there's only 3 minutes of play remaining. Geelong have to kick a goal. If Richmond kick one, it's 4 points in the bag.
So the Tigers back in front in a thriller at the MCG, but there's 3.5 minutes for Geelong to get the equaliser. Maybe this is their chance. Will the Tigers try to really close it up? Gale holding the footy, says the umpire. Mitch with the free kick. Gives it to Gary Hocking. But a terrific game for the Cats today. Hocking kicks to a contest at half forward. Turner was there. They couldn't take possession though, the Cats. Colbert, it's coming back. Richmond free kick.
Free kick beyond the play.
Against Hocking. That may prove costly. Just when they were running it forward. Well, that came with 3 minutes remaining. Scotty Turner, right half-back flank. Now the experienced player goes long to centre wing. Richardson, fresh air shot.
Oh.
And the all was for Campbell, nearly getting hit in the face with the footy.
Couldn't that hurt?
It would on a day like today.
Hurt a lot more if they lose.
Sure enough. Michael Mansfield gets himself out of the mire. Gary Ayres, I think, is in there. Hard to tell with the reflection. Like Jeff Geach and his counterpart, probably biting the nails at this stage of the afternoon, hoping that the Cats can get one before the siren, which is 2.5 minutes away.
And Jeff Geachin has sent the runner out and told Darren Gaspar to get back, loosen the fence. And now Brockman's gone down to pick him up. Centre wing. 2.5 minutes left in this game. Barnes, that was a good hit out because you got it clear to Colbert. The Cats would want to get possession here. The Tigers punch it away. Powell did well. Chaffee receives from Knights. No mark. Daffy can't get his boot to it. Off the ground was Hocking. Tackle was laid by Milburn. Grabbed by Prescott. An important ball here. Sanderson. It's pumped forward to field by Tawney. Here's Mansfield. And he taps it to the line. Under 2 minutes left.
No free kick for that, Jared. Was that?
Oh, no, I think he was eyes on the ball. It was a genuine attempt at taking a mark. I thought from, was it Paul Broderick?
Genuine attempt, I think the important words there. Richardson and Mensch over the top. Riley. Prescott. Oh, luck is a fortune. Powell happened to be standing there, and they will take it. I guess in a close game like this, you need a little luck.
Yes, and Ross Funky also in there with a nice little punch. And well, sometimes it's not your day off and it can be your moment. And that was Ross Funky's moment. Pretty important to win that possession for the Tigers. Still got to be converted though. And if he does, it'll be all over for the Cats. And you've got to say, Pete, they've been a bit stiff.
Well, if he kicks this goal, they will be. He has kicked it. The Tigers should win from there. Minute 20 to go. Powell kicks what you would think would be the winning goal. And a little kick out of some congestion at half forward. Powell was in the right place at the right time.
So centre bounce, almost impossible for Geelong now. They have just over a minute in which to score 2 goals. And under these slippery conditions, it's nigh on impossible. Just haven't had the forwards really to capitalise. Now they've got a chance here though. Oh, Bizzle has been absolutely sensational today. Long kick. They need a mark. Riccardi, but the Tiger defenders are there. Tawney's been very impressive. He was there to punch it. So was Turner. And the Tiger fans are very happy.
Can the Cats get one after this forward thrust? It's about 25 to 30 players around the ball. And Richmond will be determined that it's not going to get too far past there. Callaway, Daffy. And the Duckers the last to get up. By Gavin Dorr to put it down. Or throw it up. Barnes up high. Couldn't beat Gale. Neither could get an effective tap out. All this, of course, playing into the hands of the Tigers. They sharpened their claws after half-time. Trailed by 16 points at the main change, but they've clawed their way back into the match. Gale goes for the boundary line. Hargraves. Oh, I was not going to say a snap, but he fumbled at the crucial moment. Campbell to Callaway. Shuffled out to Knights. Backs into trouble. Couldn't get out of it. Ravi taken down in the tackle. They're all looking for holding the ball. There is none. It'll be a ball up. No, it won't. There's the siren. And the Tigers will sneak home. And Jeff Keeshan keeps his record intact of not having lost 2 games in succession. 10-7-67. Defeating a gallant Geelong 8-10-58. It was a slog. It was tough. But Richmond have emerged victorious.
Yeah, great contest from both sides. It was always going to be tight in these conditions. You've got a feel for the Cats, who really did put their season on the line today. And, well, they lost a couple of important players, in particular Tim McGrath midway through the match, and of course their captain at the opening 30 seconds. But with Clint Bizzle flogging himself, perhaps having his best ever game, and of course Gary Hocking also doing particularly well. It was a great match.